Hi, it's Nathan here, and today we're talking about sections 46 through 49 of the Model WHS Act. Now, these sections are on consultation. I'll start with section 47 because it's the easiest to describe or define. It is the duty of the PCBU to consult with workers on matters that affect their health and safety. So consultation is a fancy word that basically means communicate. But importantly, in this context, consultation is not just telling workers like, hey, this is how we do it here. This is what safe looks like. And this is what we want you to do. It needs to be a two-way process. So it needs to be information sharing. It needs to consider workers' feedback, encourage their feedback, and consider their feedback in decision-making. So that's section 47. Section 46 is duty to consult with other duty holders. So there's duties under the Act and the regs that can be shared among duty holders. So to give you, and the legal requirement under section 46 is that those duty holders consult, cooperate, and coordinate to make sure that that duty is met. Sounds very complicated, but I can give you an example. Imagine you and I are workers, and we have a shared duty to take care of other workers. There's another worker on site. We have a duty to take care of them under section 28. And now imagine you and I are down in a sewer manhole, and we climb up out of the manhole, and now we've got an open manhole. Someone could fall down that, right? So we have a shared duty there to protect other workers. We should put that manhole cover back on. So what section 46 is saying is, well, we have a shared duty, so we need to consult, cooperate, and coordinate to make sure we meet that duty. So that what that could look like in practice is I could say, hey, buddy, I'm busy. Can you put that manhole cover back on? Or we could cooperate or coordinate and, pick it up together and put it back. So that's one example. A more relevant example, particularly for business owners, is where there's a shared duty to protect a worker. So remember, the primary duty of care isn't for employees to take care of, isn't for employers to ensure the safety of employees. The primary duty of care is for business owners, essentially PCBUs, to ensure the safety of workers, and that includes workers that are employed through a subcontractor, engaged through a subcontractor. So the legal requirement there is, or another example is, let's say you've got principal contractor, subcontractor, worker. There's a shared duty to take care of that worker. And then those shared duty holders, which in this case would be the principal contractor and the subcontractor, need to consult, cooperate, and coordinate to make sure that they meet their duty, which in this case is to take care of that worker. So what that might look like in practice is, a worker's coming to site, they need to wear PPE. It doesn't say which one of those parties needs to make sure they're wearing their PPE. It's a shared duty to take care of that worker. So those two parties need to consult, cooperate, and coordinate to make sure that worker is protected, is provided with the PPE. Or provided with full protection, or they ensure that that worker has a safe system of work or a safe work environment, or whatever the duty may be. So then the ways those for principal contractor, subcontractor, the way they can do that would be through like contracts or agreements where they have like the principal contractor says, hey, this is what we'll do as part of our role as principal contractor. This is what you have to do. They can have things like, in a practical sense, on site, they can have like safety meetings where they talk about safety, and they'll say that, contractors need to do this and principal contractor will do that, and just basically sharing information between those duty holders to make sure that we meet the core duty. The other sections, section 48 and 49, are essentially when consultation must occur, and it's got some examples. So when identifying hazards, when making decisions that affect health and safety, when proposing changes, making any changes that affect health and safety. And the other one is just on the nature of consultation, which the main thing to remember there is consultation isn't us telling workers what to do. It's a two-way process. We need to consider their input. Yeah, I hope that helps.